Welcome to the first look handicapping seminar, gentlemen. We are only 1 week away from the Kentucky Derby, and it's going to be a big week, obviously, but we can't go any farther than tomorrow, Saturday, April 29th. We've got 12 races at Santa Anita, and also the spotlight will be heavily on Golden Gate Fields. And to join us now to kick it off, Matt Dinnerman, track announcer at Golden Gate. Matt, big day tomorrow at Golden Gate. Tell us a little bit about it. Can't hear you.
Uh-oh. He's coming right back. No worries. We've had some technical difficulties, but Maddie is going to be calling a big day of racing tomorrow up at Golden Gate. We have the stakes races that start in race number 6. There's going to be a pick 6 that has 5 stakes races of the final 6 races. And we also have the grade 3 San Francisco Mile. You're going to see a lot of horses from Southern California that we know that have been facing really tough company that are heading up there too. Just a fantastic day of racing. Honestly, like really good, strong races and really good betting opportunities.
Yeah, no question. And Seminar Skip, it looks like a terrific day here in Santa Anita with 12 races, but Golden Gate's going to take the spotlight away a little bit tomorrow with all the stakes races and a lot of horses from Southern California, as Gino mentioned, heading the journey up north. So it should be a terrific day of betting, Skip.
Yeah, the weather's going to be great. It's going to be a little bit hot, but the races are great and a lot of good betting opportunities. And Golden Gate's got a great card, so I'm looking forward to that.
Maddie, welcome back. Hopefully you can hear us now. We just kind of previewed a little bit. Tell us a little bit real quickly about what's going on tomorrow at Golden Gate with the 12 races and the stakes.
A lot of cool activities tomorrow, guys. We've got the late pick 5. That'll be races 8 through 12. $150,000 guaranteed in the late pick 5, $200,000 guarantee in the late pick 4 races 9 through 12. 6 stakes, of course, the San Francisco Mile, California Derby's come up a very good race, as has the Golden Poppy Stakes, and we'll talk about all these stakes later. You can also sign up for the Gold Rush Challenge, our inaugural Gold Rush Challenge. You can play it on track at Golden Gate. The best on-track player gets a $2,500 bonus. Second best player on track will get a $1,500 bonus. The winner or multiple winners, you could get a few spots into the NHC for 2024, and you can also play at Santa Anita or on expressbet.com. So a lot going on, 12 races tomorrow, first post 115. It's our biggest racing weekend, and we're all really looking forward to it.
Well, let's try to build the bankroll for the following weekend. We head into the Kentucky Derby, and one thing nice about Derby week, it looks like it's going to be sunny and warm next week, so no rain, should be a dry, fast, firm turf. So looking forward to Derby week, but let's get to it. We're talking about the late pick 5 at Golden Gate. And Gino, I'm going to start with you. It's named after one of the horse that we all had a fondness for, Lost in the Fog. So we're going 6 furlongs is Lost in the Fog. Love to do race 8 at Golden Gate, kicking off the late pick 5. What are you looking at, Gino?
Yeah, the 2 Top Harbor's in excellent form, and what's nice about him, he's going 3rd start off the bench, 3rd start of the form cycle. I think he's legitimately the horse to beat. He's in fantastic form right now. The one horse that's intriguing to me that I would also include in some exotics is the number 5, My Summer Dream. You look at My Summer Dream's recent form, and I think overall it's a little bit sneaky. So, you can take a look at that last start, which was a win on the synthetic. A couple starts back, tried the synthetic, and that was a race where he was wide in a small field and just sort of flat late and just didn't get the best of trips in that small field. Last out was tracking 3 wide, top of the lane. I thought finished really well to hold off Larry's Legend, who's the common rival on the outside here. Good on turf, good on an off track, good on synthetic. This is a pretty versatile horse here too. I think My Summer Dream can sit close. So I'll use 2s and 5s in a lot of my exotics.
2s and 5s, Matt. You have anybody to add in here that intrigues you here to start off pick 5?
Well, I'm actually right with Gino, 2 and 5. Yeah, I mean, I think Top Harbor, he's a really good horse, and he's a really nice horse, and he doesn't do anything wrong, really. I mean, this horse just is a runner. And I like to see My Summer Dream back in good form off that last race because he had really good form. Santa Anita sort of lost it off the claim, but now he came back with a really good run. I do think Crazy Dreams, number 7, is a very intriguing wild card. You could make a very strong argument this horse isn't a sprinter. He's probably not, but I wonder if his class will get him there to at least be around. And he was nominated to the San Francisco Mile. This horse has a lot of class. and I watched him work actually on Sunday morning. I was here bright-eyed and early, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I saw him go. He was one of the most impressive workers I saw. It says 50 flat on the page, and he did it nice and easy. But there was a horse going 5 furlongs from his barn. He was going a half mile, and on the gallop out, the other horse was going 5 and still couldn't get by this horse. So it was a big work, and off that, I used him on tickets.
Skipper, there's a couple shippers coming in, including Lovesick Blues, and I think that horse obviously likes to sprint. We know Steve Miotti does a terrific job and is actually 2 for 2 over the synthetic. Is that one you were using in the mix, or even Creative Peak coming in formally from the Vladimir Serin barn?
Yeah, buddy, I was going to use both of those. Lovesick Blues, we've been trying to catch this horse the last few times. It's had troubled trips. Finally, we got lucky last time. It has a win on Golden Gate surface, so I'm definitely going to use Lovesick Blues, and I got to use the 6. That trainer's been on fire, as Matt knows, and boy, he's real good with his first-time acquisition, so got to use the 6 also.
All right, so we're going to move on to the second leg. We're going to mile and a 16th on the turf. The Golden Poppy. Skipper, we're coming right back to you. What do you think about the second leg here of the Pick 5?
I like a horse an awful lot in here, and I don't know what happened to it last time. It's the 7, Australia Mia. My buddy Michael McCarthy trains this horse whenever he does a great job everywhere, but whenever he ships up north, they fire. He's winning at 40% up there now. Like I said, I don't know what happened last time, but in the Astra, that race wins this race, in my opinion. That was a real good race. It probably needed it coming off the layoff, almost 9 months. So I watched the workouts in the morning, starting with April 1st back, and it was kind of nice and easy. The one that I loved was April 7th. That work was great. Now this mare, it's funny. She's goofy. She doesn't want to switch leads. So you kind of got to get after a little bit to switch leads. But once she does, she takes off. I didn't see the work on the 22nd, but I love the work on the 7th, and that work on the 15th was good also. I think she comes back into her own today. She loves to win. She's won 9 out of 21 races. I love her in this spot tomorrow.
Looks like a single for Skippy, and Umberto is catching fire there, Gino. I'm sure you're using this horse. You got any other horses you're using in the mix?
Well, let's play the common rival game, right? So let's look right to the inside of Australia Mia, and let's take a look at Ever Smart. I'd imagine that Nadette will probably go favored in this race, or be one of the favorites that takes a lot of money. So look at some of the horses that Nadette has faced recently. March the 2nd or March the 4th, Quattrell and Macadamia. You see those exact same horses with Ever Smart. And the difference is that because Ever Smart faced those horses in allowance races, they don't look like they're as strong, but those are graded stakes horses that go on to win graded stakes races. Quattrell is one of the sharper horses that we see right now. So look at Ever Smart. If you can just put a line through the last race, that was her 11th start of the year. She had a long campaign. She was just over it a bit. Put a line through that December the 3rd race. And we know she can sit close. We know she can be really competitive. That runner-up effort to Quattrell 2 starts back, that would be really competitive in this race. And we can actually look at her race last year to start the year. She was off from November to February, a slightly shorter layoff, but she won in her first start off the bench starting the year. And we know that Drysdale can get them ready to fire. I think she fits in here really well, and she's going to be a way bigger price facing the same sort of horses as Nadette.
So 12-1 on Ever Smart, and Gino's giving a big look there. Matty Ice, what are you thinking about here in the Golden Poppy?
I will say before I give this pick, I do believe that as a handicapper, we have to handicap with our brains and not our heart, as tough as that can be sometimes. I am picking a shipper, but again, this is because I am not going through my heart. I'm going through my brain here. Buyback number 4 is my top pick in this race, 8-1 on the morning line. What I really liked about her race last year in this race was that she dueled the whole way at a fast pace, shook off that rival turning for home, and then got nipped in the final stride by Avenue de France, who came back over to Summer to win a grade 2. So she's a really nice gal, obviously, Avenue de France, and so is Buyback. Last time out, she was coming off a layoff. She was in a sprint race. She's not a sprinter. It was clearly old school tactics by Blaine Wright. Just get a race into her. We're going to get a little check for showing up in the afternoons. We get the screws tightened a bit. And now we're going a mile and a 16th. There's not a ton of pace in this race. I think she's going to go to the lead, and I think she could get brave, and I think she's going to be cranked up. So buyback number 4 is my pick here, and what I think is a really good betting race.
Yeah, good betting race. She's not big on winning, but like you said, clearly that sprint is prepping here and lost a heartbreaker last year by a nose. All right, let's move on to the third leg, and we're going to race 10. The California Derby, Skip, a mile and a 16th. You're singling Australia Mia in the 9th. Where are you heading in the 10th?
I like 2 horses an awful lot in here. And the first one is the 2, Harson. The first 2 races at Golden Gate were won very nicely on the lead. Then they stretched him out in the El Camino Real Derby and didn't run bad. It kind of loomed up and just got outkicked by Chase the Chaos, who's also in this race. Last race was really weird. It was sitting in a great spot. It could have gone inside, but Anton Georgi, for whatever reason, he swung him out wide and went probably like 6 or 7 wide when the rail just opened up. Maybe he didn't know the rail was going to open up or not. It didn't switch leads till late, and once it did, it looked like the inside horse kind of came out on it, had to steady slightly a little bit. But I think with the blinkers on, this horse is it's only raced 4 times as a 3-year-old. It's improving. I got to use the 2. That's my top play. But my other one is the 5. I'm going to probably mess the name of this horse up.
Phosphorescence.
I'm the worst.
That's why I got the job to be the announcer. You don't have to. It's all good.
Let's play the 5, Skip.
The 5. Here we go. It's Michael McCarthy's horse again. What I like about this, the first 2 races after he got it from Ben Colebrook, short, 6 furlongs, 6.5 on the turf. Now with the breeding with this horse, that horse doesn't want to run that far. I mean, it wants to go farther as far as I see by City or, City Light. Anyways, it cost $200,000. They finally stretched it out last time. It went to the lead. It got headed 2 or 3 times. They just kept coming at him. And he just kept battling on and dug in late and won and galloped out nicely. He wasn't letting anybody by that day. So I got to use the 5 also. I like those 2 the best in this race. I know Chase the Chaos is, it's won 2 out of 4 races there, and they kind of put in the San Felipe way over his head a little bit, but they tried. But I'm going to try to beat Chase the Chaos with those 2 horses.
Phosphorescence, as we call it, last time stretched out and took the blinkers off. And Skip's top pick, if you notice, Gino, Skip's top pick, owned and bred by Jerry Moss, a.k.a. Zenyatta fame. Is Zenyatta behind you on the couch there, Skip, on the bed?
She is asleep.
There. I knew there would be a Zenyatta.
There she is.
The Zenyatta tie-in to Skip's top pick, Gino.
And she's got her king's little bone here, too.
You're muted, Gino.
My only concern is trying to play the race out in my head, how it's going to shape up. This horse is going to be sitting, right? Because the McCarthy right next door is faster, isn't she? Or isn't he? The jam session?
Right.
So that's my only worry is that in all of Phosphorescence races, he's also been forwardly placed. I don't think McCarthy's going to want both of these horses going at each other. So I think the 6 is probably the one that goes. And that doesn't mean the 5 can't win. Absolutely couldn't sit off the pace and win. I just haven't seen it myself. So I kind of have a hard time knowing if that's a horse that can do that. So I'll probably use 6, 7, 8 here. I think I'll give Passerando a look, who didn't really get a chance to get moving until late and did have some good late energy. So I think with the right type of trip, he just needs the right to get the button pushed at the right time. But he's certainly capable of winning this race. I'll use like 6, 7, and 8, I think.
So, Maddie, they're kind of spread out between the 2 of them there with the 2, 4, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. What are your thoughts here? Do we have any deciding votes from you?
Well, I will say, I think, betting, for example, a race 9 and 10 daily double, that's a great bet. I mean, these two races are very good races, and they're the best betting races in terms of all the stakes, in my opinion. I actually went with Passerando, and Gino was talking a little bit about him. Here's why I went with this horse, because on paper, if you don't follow Golden Gate and you're just looking on paper, even if you're watching replays, you're saying he's not the best horse in this race and he needs to improve. But that 3-back effort where he ran in the Gold Rush, he showed a lethal turn of kick. It was a huge effort, and he ran great. I think he's going to get that same setup, which is a very fast pace. He is a horse that if the pace is not that fast, he sort of shows this grinding ability. But when he has a pace to run into, he's strong, and I think that you're going to get it with Jam Session. I think he's going to go. Novu is a horse that needs the lead. He's not one that can possibly race. So I think with those two horses in the race, even Phosphorescence, who's got some speed, I think the pace is going to be ripe for someone for off the pace. And I saw this horse work 101 the other morning, and he was the work of the morning. He looked incredible in his workout. And I think this horse is going to get the right pace, and I think he's sitting on a big race. And by the way, he's freshening up 2.5 months. I actually think that's sort of a blessing in disguise, because I know they tried to get him in a couple of races they couldn't fill. I think it's a blessing in disguise because this horse had a long, hard campaign in 2022. I think he's going to be really fresh and ready in this race.
And I think you're going to get close to that 5-1. Do you think, Matt? I think this horse is going to get overlooked a bit.
I think so. I think Chase the Chaos is going to get bad. I think Prince Abu Dhabi, he's undefeated. He needs to improve, but he's got a lot of talent. He's just very green. Harson's going to get play. I know a lot of people like him. And I actually think Phosphorescence, number 5, he's not going off at 8-1. I think just on Michael McCarthy alone in the Southern California influence, you're going to get him getting bet too.
I love how Matty has just talked about 2 terrific works he watched. One was 50 and change and the other 101. He's actually watching them visually, which is the most important thing we talk about. We hammer that home all the time. So let's move on to the 4th leg, and this is the Grade 3 San Francisco Mile. Matt, right back to you. Is Balnikov the one to beat for Phil D'Amato shipping in? What are you looking at?
I like this move. I agree with Phil D'Amato. He said it in an article in the DRF. This horse is going to love the longer European-style course we have here, and I couldn't agree more. That said, he's the second pick in here. I'm going to pick Dicey Mochara on top. I think it's pronounced Dicey Mochara, and people have told me that before, but I hear other people say Dicey Mochara. But anyway, that's only something an announcer has to worry about. The fact of the matter is this horse is cutting back in distance, 1.25 miles to a mile. He's going to be really fit. He's going to get a pace, and he needs a pace at a mile. With Lamplighter Jack and Bob and Jack, he's going to get the pace. The reason that I am confident this horse can get a mile is because the last time he ran here at Golden Gate, he ran a mile on the Tapeta and he lost by a half length. Now, it was the All-American Stakes. It was a $100,000 restricted race. But if you dig down deep enough, you see that he got in a ton of trouble. I called the race. He should have won that day. He was the best horse. And guess who he beat? Masterpiece, who came back to win the Grade 2 Eddie Reed, who we all know is a very nice horse on his best day. So I think Dicey Mochara is going to get the pace. I think he's going to be really fit. And I believe that this horse can run a crackerjack race here in the San Francisco Mile and outkick Balnikov. I do think it'll be Formful. I think one of those two probably wins, though.
I can't wait to hear the call to, I guess we've always said Dicey Mochara. We've always loved this horse. So I guess we're going to have to switch it, or we'll listen to Matt's call tomorrow, because you know it's going to be correct when he gets to it. Skip, are you looking at Lamplighter Jack in the mix that we actually liked the last time at a big price for Lee Baraccio, who's done terrific work here as of late down south?
Well, that's how you know that what kind of player that Chappie is. Said the horse was a big price last time at 9-5. What was he?
Oh, he did get bet down. That's right. My bad.
What was the horse? I was going to say that Chappie's talking about a big price that he was last time out.
I think wasn't that horse like 8-1 morning line?
I think he was. Yeah, I think
it was.
Yeah,
it was, and it got bet late. I think it was 9-2 when I was at the window betting, and I looked up and it was 8-5.
I didn't even notice that.
I know. Big price for Chappie over there, huh? Yeah.
You know, that horse loves to win, and we loved it last time. I just don't know how good the horse is. I'm not going to use it tomorrow. I don't think they could beat Belnikov. I really don't. I don't know what happened last time. Maybe it needed the race or whatever. Maybe it was the good turf course at Santa Anita. We know we had all that rain, and maybe it was even worse than good or whatever. I just that race at Keeneland and the Mathis Mile. Those races were lights out, especially the one at Keeneland. It had no shot to win that day. It looked like it was just nowhere, and it just burst through the stretch and just got up at the wire. I just think probably too classy. So I'm going to probably, maybe I'll use Dicey Moore Chara just because Matt likes it. So we'll see if Gino likes any other ones. My original ticket, I was going to, it was going to be small. I probably was going to single the 2, but I'd love to hear Gino's opinion also.
Before we get to you real quick, Gino, that last race for Belnikov was baffling, and maybe it had something to do with the good turf. Is the weather tomorrow, Matt? Are we looking fast and firm and all good?
Fast and firm, 69 to 70 degrees and sunny with a slight bayside breeze. So it's going to be absolutely perfect weather.
Perfect.
Wow. Skip Raines, he took one from your playbook there, buddy.
That was well done. That was very well done.
Gino?
Could have been. It was his first start against older horses also, right? So he is just a newly turned 4-year-old. We have to remember. I think because of that, there are 2 small things. Like, I want to see him prove it against some of these older horses. And also, just comparing him to Dicey Mo, I think Dicey Mo will be able to get a little jump on him. Because Dicey Mo Chara won't be on the lead like he was last time out. As Matt mentioned, he sort of just ended up on the lead and going a little bit longer. Cutting back, he'll have more of a target. I don't think he'll be way, way out of it, though. I'm hoping he's at least, if you're betting on him, you want him to be a couple lengths in front of Biletnikoff. That's sort of why you're playing Dicey Mo Chara, just hoping that he's the one getting the jump on him. So I'll play it that way. I might throw the 4 in, Bob and Jackie. I think maybe rounding kind of back into good form for a horse who can be forwardly placed and really quick, but they can sit a little if they can get the right type of trip. So I might throw Bob and Jackie in some exotics with Dicey Mo.
All right, we move to the 5th and final leg, and it's the old maiden 8 to close it off after all the stakes races. But Gino, it's just as important as the rest of them because it's in the pick 5 sequence here. What are you looking at to close it out?
Yeah, and it's the closing leg. So I think the 5 Tom's pick is really well meant and well spotted in this race. So you look at Tom's pick, who debuted back in June of 2022 and faced maiden special weights and then was off all the way from June to April of the following year. Showed back up, took a big drop down in class, showed some improvement, ran pretty well, but just sort of ran like a horse that needed the race. That was off for a long, long layoff. And I expect he's moving off the rail. And he's going to just be a little bit sharper and a little bit fitter in here. So for me, a must use in this last race, and a horse who I'll probably put some win money on, is Tom's pick, the number 5.
All right. We always like the second off a long layoff, and of course getting off the rail. You looking towards that horse as well, Skipper? Or are you heading in another direction?
I'm going to use a couple that are prices in here. I'm going to use the 4. What was this? This is now. What I can't even talk, and I haven't even had a drink yet. Wow.
That is now.
This should be a game. This should be like a thing we do, right?
The track announcer laughing at us.
I'm so glad I'm not a track announcer, and I never would be one, obviously. I wouldn't be able to name any of the horses. I'd be like number 5's in second, number 2's coming from behind. I'd be a disaster. Matt, you do a great job, and my hats are off to you. I mean, I don't know how you guys do it. I sure couldn't. I'm using the 4 at 10-1. This horse gets off the rail also, dropping in class. Didn't run that bad. The trainer does very well. Second time start, wins at 17%. Another one I'm going to use is a 7, Fresno Chili. This horse ran sneaky good. It was off slow. It had a wide trip. I don't know. I think it will improve too. And so do the percentages with the trainer second time out show that. And then I'm going to also use the shipper from Santa Anita and the first time starter, the outside horse, Steve Sherman's. I like the breeding on this horse. It hasn't missed a beat in the morning. And I like the post position draw and 12-1. I got to put that horse on my ticket also.
Matt, what are your thoughts on these low-level claimers, especially in this race to close it out?
All right, Skip, I'm going with you. What was then is now. This is
Okay.
this filly's my top pick, and I can say her name correctly. And
A lot better than I can. Yes.
I almost screwed up the first time, so we're on the same page there. We're on the same page with this pick because, like you said, Jesus Ramos, and I'm sure you guys have talked about it before, whether it's on air amongst yourselves. When you follow a circuit, you really do have an advantage because you're not only able to understand the horse's patterns, but the trainer's patterns as well. And the fact of the matter is, Jesus Ramos does a lot better second and third time out. He's a very capable horse trainer. This filly got a perfect trip last time out, and she was just fifth best. So there is that. There were no excuses, but she's facing a little bit easier here, I think, and looking at who she ran against last time out. And I'm feeling that second time out, she has a real right to take a step forward. She gets that same type of trip and does take a step forward. You're looking at probably a price horse getting the job done, or at least she's got a shot to. And I think a lot of people are going to gravitate towards Danehill Song. But I have to say, too, Sue Generous, number 2, and Tom's pick, they ran second and third. And Serious Secret, who won that race, actually ran today. And she ran a really good second against winners. So that may, based on how Serious Secret ran, she didn't win, but she ran well against winners, and that's not an easy bump for these lower-level maiden claimers to go against winners. So that might affect the betting a little bit there.
All right, that's a quick look there at the Golden Gate Pick 5. We're going to take just a quick couple of minutes to take a look at just two of the two stakes races at Santa Anita, Gino. Race 3, the Providencia. We've got a small field of 6 here, but a couple tough ones in Ancient Peace, who's shown a ton of speed and has improved, getting back on the turf now. And Paris Secret with Phil D'Amato, always tough second off the bench. What do you like here and here? Anybody else besides those two?
Yeah, the 4 Ancient Peace is the horse to beat. What's a little intriguing, though, is right next door, the 3 Broadway Girls is pretty quick. Actually, both O'Neill horses could show speed. I don't think the 2 is as fast, even though she's stretching out sprinting. I actually wouldn't be shocked to see, even the outside horse show a little bit of speed. I actually think they could be going pretty honest in this small field. The horse who I might give a look one more time to is the 1 Pleasant Wave. If you're looking to give a price horse a shot, a Pleasant Wave might be able to sit a really nice trip in here. Coming out of that 6.5 furlong race down the hill, can be more forwardly placed, but won't be on the lead with those other horses, can save ground here, could be a little fit and come running. So I think the 1 Pleasant Wave is interesting if you're looking for a price to use along with Ancient Peace.
Skip, any of your thoughts in there?
I'm going to use the 5, Paris Secret. I don't know if Kimura, is he really coming in to ride? Because he's been at Woodbine. So is he shipping back in to ride this one?
I do not know. Yeah.
It looks like it, but this horse had trouble first time out. And that was the race with Princess Bettina, went wire to wire. There was no speed in the race, kind of walked on the lead and kept going. This horse was off slow, was boxed in, had trouble. And if Kimura, which he probably is coming if he's named on it in the form, I love that he's coming in to ride this horse. So I definitely got to use the 5, Paris Secret.
I bet you he is, Chappie,
right.
or Skippy, because he's also riding the 1 Kirsten Bosch, who he won a graded stakes on.
That's right.
So he probably came down to ride both of these stakes horses and others. So, yeah.
And I don't know if you guys heard that, but did you hear how I pronounce that, Paris Secret? That was
good.
No, good job. Yeah. That gives you 2 thumbs up, and you're going to be calling that race now. All right, Gino, let's go ahead and move to the last state race that we're going to cover. That is race 9, the Santa Maria.
Yeah, I already teased my horse right there. I like the 1 Kirsten Bosch from the inside, sitting a trip here, stretching back out now from a sprint back to a mile. This horse won the La Cañada a couple starts back. Seeing the way it may shape up, Adair Manor is going to be forwardly placed in here. I think Big Switch tried to sit off Adair Manor last time out. I think they may engage even earlier and make sure that this is a pretty honest pace. Wouldn't be shocked to see Mongolian Panther also trying to flash some speed because that worked better for them last time out. So I'm going to use the 1 sitting the trip from the inside, Kirsten Bosch.
Matty, I don't know if you got a chance to look at that. I know you've got dinners to host, you've got races to call, you've got marketing, you've got social media. Did you get a chance to look at this race at all?
Yeah, I did take a little bit of a look at it. I think that Kirsten Bosch should probably be the pick at a price. Well, not a price, but I don't like any of the prices in here. I think it's going to be a pretty formful race, and Kirsten Bosch might get the trip. I've always thought Big Switch was a really nice filly for a Calbred, especially, but she just wasn't able to get by Adair Manor last time. So it's hard for me to endorse Big Switch, and Adair Manor is the one to beat. But I would say, like, if I was placing a win bet, it would probably be on Kirsten Bosch, Gino's pick.
Skipper?
I definitely got to use the 6, Bellamore. This horse ran good at Turfway Park. That Idiomatic's a nice one over there. I'm going to use this second off the bench, and it didn't run bad. It ran good on the dirt at Churchill Downs back in November. So I'm using the 6 also. She'd get a good trip.
All right, so it should be a terrific day, Matt. We're running out of time. Why don't you put a bow on the show real quickly, kind of go over tomorrow's festivities, what's going on in the big day, Golden Gate?
Yeah, it's a big day, 1:15 p.m. first post, 12 races tomorrow, so we got a lot of work to do up here in the announcer's booth. We got the late pick 5 guaranteed pool races 8 through 12, $150,000 in that late pick 5 guarantee, and then $200,000 in the guaranteed late pick 4. 6 stakes races. That'll be the California Oaks kicking off in the 6th race all the way to race number 11, the San Francisco Mile. Some great betting affairs. We've also got the Gold Rush Challenge. If you're an Express Bet player, you can play on Express Bet. If you want to come to Golden Gate, if you're local and play in this contest, if you're the best on-track player in that contest, you get a $2,500 bonus, $1,500 bonus for who's ever the second best on track. You can play at Santa Anita if you're in the Arcadia area. And depending on how many entries there are, could be 3, could be 4 seats, depending on how many entries, but there will be seats given out to the NHC with hotel accommodations and airfare as well, provided to those NHC free seat holders if you can win the NHC, or rather the Gold Rush Challenge for the NHC. So going to be a great day, 70 and sunny, and we're looking forward to it. And we appreciate you guys taking a look at our races. Hopefully we can all get lucky tomorrow.
All right. I want to thank you guys all. We will talk to you all tomorrow morning on the Morning Line Sports Show. And then we'd love to see everybody out at Santa Anita or at Golden Gate. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Good luck, everybody.